What's up, guys? I am here joined with Keeper, my dude. Welcome to the ATL, son.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited to be here, bro. The studio is beautiful. You guys got a lot of cool stuff going on here. I like the ATM, I got to tell you.
Pretty cool, right? When you actually see it in real life, it's like, all right, that's legit.
Yeah, and it was simple to use. It was like, hey, do I want to buy ETH? Do I want to buy Bitcoin? Do I want to buy Bitcoin? Click. Okay, thank you.
Boop, in and out.
That's
man.
nice.
Print
nice.
wallets, all sorts of cool stuff.
Yeah.
But so, what are you here for, man? Let's talk about that. Super
Dude.
exciting stuff because we got a presidential debate.
Yes, we do. Guys, I just want to show you. Definitely got the Thug Life T-shirt on right now. We're here for the Donald Trump debate, and a lot of people know
The Donald Trump show.
Word on the street was Mr. Biden himself, Sleepy Joe, has been preparing for literally like a week for this.
Sleeping.
And there's a guy on TikTok, his name's Harry Sisson, and he gets paid by the DNC and yada, yada, yada. Was literally smashing on and talking trash about Trump because he wasn't preparing. When Joe, literally Biden, had a whole week's worth of preparations for this debate, it's like, hey, the reality is, I think we all know that this is exactly like what you were saying. This isn't really going to be a debate as much as it's going to be a structured game plan for CNN to be able to present Joe Biden in a way, he gets to use a teleprompter, they're muting the other mic, like the whole deal. So I'm down here because, a lot of you know that I've got the Tunnel project, that I'm on the team, and actually we got some dope hats, bro. So we got the Make America Great Again, and then on the side, it's got the little Tom logo. It's going to be hard to see in the video, but it's got Donald Trump's, I guess, what would you call it, his shadow?
His like silhouette. Like the side angle of his bust.
Yeah,
his face
exactly.
silhouette.
So it's got his little silhouette with the Ton logo in there. But in any event, the team's down here. We wanted to come down here and create some content, man. The reality is, I think so many times you see projects like meme coins and stuff, and the only thing you see is price action. That's it, right? You don't see them actually getting together, doing things. And I've become really close with the guys on the team over the last couple years. Obviously, the project didn't start a couple years ago, but I've become close with the team. And actually, it's funny. And, you meet people in person, and you've talked so much with this person, you feel like you know them. Well, when I showed up to the house yesterday, I was the second person to get there. And I knew on Telegram who was going to be there, but I never put together, when he opened the door, I already knew this guy and never put together that I actually knew him from Miami and had been at a couple events with him and whatnot.
That's fine.
And I was like, bro, Bando, I didn't realize that this is who you were. And he's like, oh, you didn't realize that? I'm like, no, you see me on the camera all the time. I don't see you, so I never put it together. But yeah, so we're super excited. We're going down to the CNN headquarters where the debate's going to be. And we're going to have some fun. We've got some poster boards set up. We're obviously all going to wear our hats and just want to promote the idea that, crypto is here and we're going to be heard, right?
I love it. Just the other day, and it's great. Why, with crypto and being a, political season with the presidential stuff going on later this year, it's like just the other day, my wife and I, we were downtown Woodstock here, and just so happened that a lady from iHeartRadio was walking around doing soundbite interviews about, what was going on with the debate, being that it was here in Atlanta. And, she was asking me, like, what are you looking forward to? And it's like, actually, I'm a crypto guy, so I'm looking forward to some kind of conversation about crypto. Like,
do you think we're going to get it?
I think so. I feel like
that would be bullish.
Dude, I feel like it's a big enough issue right now. Yeah. Now, again, CNN, they are going to probably tailor everything to Biden.
Yeah.
He's obviously anti-crypto, so maybe not. However, maybe Donald will slip something in there because he knows that is a really big issue, and especially for a lot of us, and, being able for him to accept his campaign donations in crypto, it's like, that's massive.
Yeah, and he's talking about going to the Bitcoin conference in Nashville. That would be absolutely huge. And I think what they're recognizing is that, Donald Trump's a businessman, and he realizes that the monetary system right now is broken.
100%.
And all of us that are in crypto have recognized that for a long time, but he's realizing, wow, this is a multi-trillion-dollar business, right, entity in the crypto space that ultimately could bring a lot of business to the United States. We've pushed it all overseas for so long, fighting against what ultimately could be a beautiful thing. Even if you want to get into the taxpayer side of things, okay, we regulate it, we tax it, we bring a bunch of business over here. Maybe we're not in control of the everyday, with Bitcoin, right? That's going to be just a reality.
That's okay.
But it gives people the feeling of having that freedom to transact, which is what we're all about. And I think Donald Trump, because that's a lot of his platform, is like trying to give back to the people and allow them to be able to make money the way that they want, to be able to run small businesses, all of the things that he stands for. Mm-hmm. And I think he's just recognizing that, hey, I've got a big opportunity. I've got a big opportunity here to get in front of some people that are going to be a different subset of people. Right. That are going to be, pushing for me to do something great here.
Well, and I think, the whole thing, his platform, Make Great America Great Again, right? Like, we are stifling innovation in a finance sector, in a lot of realms, right? By saying, no, push it out of here. Like, no, we're not going to participate in this, which, big mistake.
Yeah.
Right? So knowing that we can kind of bring some of that back here, hopefully it does fix some of the problems. If we do start to increase, whether it's a GDP or whatever it is because of crypto, maybe some of our infrastructure can start to be rebuilt. I mean, I don't know about you guys up in Ohio, but, where we live down here, the roads are shit. Been all over the country. The roads
We're
are
the
shit.
Orange Barrel State. So we definitely know about the construction, for sure.
That's your national bird, isn't it?
It is.
Between you and Florida, I think the crane and the cone.
Yeah, exactly. It's an orange cone. That is our state bird. Yeah, dude, I see so much opportunity that we're leaving on the table by trying to X out crypto because it pushes against the central bank effectively. And that's really what it comes down to. And the way that I look at it is the opportunity is there for the banking industry, if they want to be a part of this, right, which they obviously do. We've got the ETFs, we've got all of this happening. Yeah. If they want to be a part of it, well, then figure out a way for you guys, as you always do, to capitalize on a market that is there and ripe and ready for people to continue to grow and dive into it.
Do you think the RWA ecosystem, being able to tokenize what we've already got, say, in aspects of our legacy financial system, tokenizing that, bringing that to the blockchain, is that their way in to say, all right, this is how we can participate. We know kind of the fundamentals of this stuff, and we understand, maybe the concept of crypto, blockchain, all that stuff, and maybe at some point, that's the move for them.
I think it's a very digestible thing for somebody in legacy finance to be able to make the move to crypto, because they're just saying, hey, all of these things that we've made money on before, we're going to kind of restructure the way that people are able to get involved in it. Like, let's say real estate, for example. They start tokenizing all of this real estate, giving multiple different people, subsets of people, opportunities to invest in a little bit different way. They understand the investment side. They might not totally understand the crypto side, but they say, hey, wait a minute, we can just basically take this house and turn it into token format and allow people to invest in it. And we're still able to do X, Y, and Z to be able to make money for ourselves. I think, dude, that market is massive. You know it more than I do. How big is the RWA? Somebody told me like $2 quadrillion or some wild number.
I mean, the derivatives and all that stuff, the potential is absolutely there. Yeah. And I think the statistics is that it's going to be like whether a $30 billion or $30 trillion ecosystem, in the next 5-10 years, something like that.
So why would they not be interested in trying to capitalize on that? It's a new way for them to be able to make money. Yeah. So why push against it?
Dude, and I put a big bet on Ondo in the RWA ecosystem. Yeah. There's a lot of other really good ones. You get like Goldfinch, you got Pendle. There's a bunch of really good ones that you can that people can be betting on in the RWA scene. But Ondo is the one that I chose. That they've got the relationship with BlackRock, and that BlackRock's not going to lose here. No. They are not going to lose, especially in that whole thing. Larry Fink with him coming out saying, "Hey, this is the new economy." Like that to me is like, all right. That's where I need to be.
Yeah, and I think that is a great example of a reason that they should talk about crypto, for an example, tonight at the debate, because you do have all of the massive players. Let's be fair, BlackRock runs this world effectively. BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, whatever. Right. They're in charge of all the financial side of things. They're in now on crypto, obviously, with the ETF and the upcoming Ethereum ETF that's going to be before too long.
July 2nd, you think? Is that the date you're hearing?
They've been talking about it. Yeah, they've been saying start of July. And then look at this. So 4th of July, we know in crypto, if you've been around for any amount of time, holidays, we always get some sort of a holiday pump. You know what I mean? At Christmas time, it happens. Seen it on 4th of July, seen it on Memorial Day. Like, that's very normal. So I think that it could play out really well if they do put it out on July 1st, July 2nd, right before that holiday. You get the holiday pump along with, the introduction of something brand new.
5K ETH?
Dude, I don't think it'll be that long before it happens. I'm concerned geopolitically if the play that's been the market. I've talked about this a lot. I talked about this with you a little bit. The market feels so much different right now. We've always had this predictable cyclical thing, Bitcoin to ETH to altcoins to crap coins, and then circles around. It doesn't feel like that's what's happening right now. It's like you're either in Bitcoin or you're in ETH or you're in some altcoins or you're putting money into meme coins because you're ready for the casino winnings that you're going to get. And I feel like that money is just recycling. We haven't had the altcoin season yet. We haven't seen any of that. I think it's a great setup. You've got presidential talking points in the crypto space, the real world assets, right? That obviously BlackRock and everybody wants to be involved in. You've got the Bitcoin ETF that just launched not too long ago. Now the ETH ETF coming up. My only concern is geopolitical moves. But let's be fair. I talked to Bill Noble about this yesterday. The goal of these institutions is to buy low. It 100%. Is to buy low. And so we believe at some point Bitcoin's going to be 100K plus. They know the same thing, but they have the ability to pump fear into these markets. They have the ability to move the needle.
They control the media, right? So
yes.
They control the narrative. They can trigger the panic selling and all of it.
And so I think that ultimately my only concern is there going to be some sort of a war propaganda that's going to be happening, or an actual war, whatever. And surrounding that whole idea, it pumps so much fear into the retail person, kind of pushes them off to the side, and then the big institutions say, hey, there's my buying opportunity. Thank you. And they snatch it up.
And then retail gets hosed again because now, prices go way up.
Yep.
Man, it's just interesting to think, when we talk about the meme cycle and how it's morphing, a lot of the ideas of what crypto is or what investing is, right? What if some people are right? What if we don't see the altcoin season because we've kind of just bastardized ourselves with this meme coin? Like, we flushed out the liquidity. Like, we don't have what it takes anymore.
I've talked about for a while that I thought that this run was going to be utilitarian, and so far I've been dead wrong.
Dude, but that was the move.
Dead wrong.
Utility, that was it. That was the narrative.
Wrong. But the question then begs, okay, are we dead wrong, or is the timing just off, and now we're going to move forward in these crypto markets that has legacy to where we might actually see what we call a super cycle? And when I say super cycle, I look at it a little bit differently. What I mean by a super cycle is moving more like the stock market long term, right? Not maybe 2% gains, 1% gains, 3%, 7%, whatever. Not so much that as, hey, the overall trend continues to be up and to the right. Doesn't mean that there's not going to be pullbacks, etc.
Right.
But crypto has been so predictable, if you know the markets, at some point I feel like that has to break.
At some point.
It has to.
It has to.
Because then it gets too easy if you have money and you can just sit there and be like, well, I know what's happening every 4 years. This is where it's going.
So that, that was always, I think for the last maybe couple of years, right, been a narrative that a lot of people have talked about. It's like, what we're going to see is the stock market is going to come down and be closer to crypto, be a little more volatile. And we're going to see the crypto market come up a little bit, be a little less volatile, kind of like the stock market. And maybe we'll find some balance in between.
Some sort of synergy.
Right? And so, it's at some point, like you're right, like that 4-year, just because Bitcoin moves on a 4-year cycle.
Right.
Nothing else needs to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, nothing else needs to follow the same structure as Bitcoin unless you have a halving cycle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Ethereum doesn't need to do that.
No,
the rest of the jillion coins don't need to do that. At some point, they need to break away.
It's just always been that way, and so people will say, well, hey, until you show me different, that's what I see.
History repeats. History rhymes, it doesn't repeat.
Right, but I do see a lot happening different right now. And I know the cliche thing to say in crypto is it's different this time,
it's not you, it's me.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but it does beg the question, is it actually going to be different now that we have the big money in legacy here? We've got a presidential debate where hopefully they talk about crypto. You've got presidential candidate, soon to be President Donald Trump, very likely going to Nashville to talk about Bitcoin. Dude, if you would have said in 2017 when I got in, if you would have told me that a presidential talking point in a few years was going to be crypto, I would have told you you're freaking crazy. Not a chance.
We're early, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, this is about to be it. We're on the big show.
Is this the last cycle where we can actually make life-changing gains with the exception of the one-off meme tokens or
Yes.
just things that people get lucky on. I don't know.
I think so. I think that this is things after this, like when you hit like the main stage, things will start to chill out a little bit more.
Yeah.
But do you? I had a different question for you, but
But what?
I forgot it.
It just fleeted.
Just fleeted.
It just fleeted. No, it just flew away. Yeah, dude, I'm excited about everything that's happening, but like I said, I think that people are going to need to strap in and have a solid game plan because I continue to say, when the big boys come in, they play big boy games. And we're seeing, I actually read an article yesterday about the spoofing. I've heard Magic Internet Money's talked to me about this before, and you have so many people, traders, that look at these heat maps, okay? And the heat maps will show like large areas of liquidity, okay? In the stock market, you can't do this. If you execute on an order, like you put the order in. But in crypto, right, you can set certain orders that you can bail from. And so I read an article yesterday that they know that this is actively happening. The whales see the fear in the market right now, and they have an opportunity to do one of two things: either turn it back around or continue to push more fear. And so what they're doing is they're putting in these massive order blocks for either shorts or longs, depending on what they want to do.
Wow.
And then as it approaches that, they pull it. So they're literally playing with the fear and greed index in the crypto markets. They have enough money to help move these markets. People, you see what it is, like a whale moved this much crypto to an exchange, and it's like this guy might be sitting in his mom's basement just like playing games with the markets and laughing,
Just moving it just to move it
and
back.
then just move it just to move it back. Yeah, just pay a gas fee or whatever.
When you got 50 million, like you don't care what the
It
gas
doesn't
is.
matter. It does not
That's a
matter.
good point.
And so it's happening, and I think that the institutions are going to play that game as well until maybe they're not allowed to. I don't know.
It's so funny that you say that, because even on my earlier days of crypto, right, when people back in like the 2018, 2019, 2020 days, when it was all about, we need the institutional money, we need institutional money, like my whole thing was like, why do you want that? Like, you see what they did you see what they've done to the legacy system.
Oh, yeah.
Why would you want that here where there's less rules? Like, you understand that they're going to come here and just completely shake it up, and they're going to eliminate opportunities for people.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's going to happen.
It's like the Wild West on steroids now.
Well, I like
because
you play big boy games.
That's
You
right.
can win big boy prizes, but
Yes.
you can also lose big boy prizes.
You can also play stupid games and win stupid prizes as well. And so I just think that people need to have their mind wrapped around what a game plan looks like and be prepared for, I forget, Ray Dalio has put out some things that are concerning as far as what's happening in the state of our economy, and not just the state of our economy, but this I talked to the Uber driver about this a little bit. This idea where if you don't think like me, then you're wrong and I hate you.
Right.
Which is absolute ludicrous, but they want that strife and that division because ultimately it does affect our financial markets, which money obviously is ruling the world. And so now crypto has had this idea of like, hey, let's give power back to the people, which we think is great, but the mass elites, not so much, right? So now they almost have to jump in and play our game, and they're like, well, wait a minute. I got enough money to play this game, be really good at it, and guess what? I've still got control. And so I think that they're going to just continue to do that until maybe it gets regulated in such a way that they can't.
Right.
Yeah,
well, I love that. One thing you touched on right there at the end made me think, all right, what are your top 3 bull market strategies for optimizing, like your best practices? What are your top 3?
So one of them, I'll tell you, this is kind of a technical answer, but I really like the mining that I'm doing.
Okay.
I ultimately look at it as a longer term, safer DCA strategy.
Passive?
The passive income coming in. Really on Caspa, super bullish on that because I see that going so far. It's the second largest proof of work blockchain on planet Earth, right? Okay. And we're just making fantastic money even at low prices. And I think it just allows on a daily basis, the price goes up, the price goes down. Guess what? My mining machines are rocking and rolling. I'm paying what my energy bill is. And I just know that this is a game plan that I have for the longer term, a little bit more safe side of things. So that's definitely one thing. Second thing, and it's something that I really need to work on, is taking profits. Like, the reality is we're not in a world where we can just freely transact in crypto and nothing but crypto, right? We do need to pull for some, facets of our life, fiat. And one of the hardest things that I've dealt with is actually pulling profits because I do believe that I know where these markets are going long term. And so I've got other businesses that pull in fiat for me. I like to use some fiat to buy some more crypto, but at some point you have to kind of, okay, I've got to use this fiat to live on a daily basis, right?
Right.
And then you get into positions where I had to pull some Bitcoin not too long ago just to financially get through some of the construction poor times, and I had to do it.
Right.
And I absolutely just was it was making me sick doing it. But I think that the game plan for the bull market has to be you're not going to buy the bottom and sell the top. You're not. And so with the meme coins, for example, right? You see these inflated numbers and your wallet gets huge and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to make all this money. Well, the reality is you're not going to be able to sell all that most likely at once, depending on what you have, or you're going to dump a chart if you do it. So the game plan
or most likely it's going to dump while you're sleeping.
Oh yeah, exactly. And you wake up and like, oh my gosh, how many times have that happen? My money's gone, right? Yeah. My fictional money that I thought I had is gone. And so taking profits is definitely the second thing. And the third thing for me is being patient. I mean, ultimately, so many people get scared out of their bags and then they blame it on crypto. And they'll say, crypto screwed me, so I'm not getting back in. It's this, it's that. And then if you ask that person, well, when did you buy? And then they tell you, and you're like, oh, okay, well, Bitcoin was at $6,800 then. Yeah, it's at 62,000 right now. So was it that crypto screwed you, or that you got scared because the prices were so volatile? You got to know basically what I'm saying is you need to know what you signed up for. Don't have so much money in there that you can't go to sleep at night because you got to wake up and check your portfolio and whatever. You've got to be willing to be patient and kind of withstand some of the chaos that is happening and that we're going to continue to see happening.
I love that. All right, so start some mining or get a passive income stream.
Yeah.
Take some profits.
Yeah.
And be fucking patient.
Be patient.
It's not about timing the market, it's time in the market.
We have all these cliches. We have all those sayings, but dude, it's not stupid though. They're accurate. Yeah. They're accurate. That we say it or say it now kind of tongue in cheek now, but the reality is some of the sayings like that are some of the most solid advice you could give somebody. And just, I mean, ultimately, yeah, you're playing a game that other people have succeeded in, that we've done well in, and these things work. That's why the sayings are there.
That's why they're there. Yeah. All right, guys. See you next time. Thanks, brother.
Appreciate you.
Boom.